Aloha, Namaste, Sitaram, Assalamu Alaikum. Good morning, good evening, and good day to each and every one of you. I want to first say thank you so much for joining us on the Divine Soul Journey. It's our pleasure to be with you and to bring this show to you globally. Divine, because we connect our divine. Divine is whoever your divine is, regardless of your religious beliefs. This is not about religion here. We all have a soul, and our soul is on a journey. And we're on that journey together. As a disclaimer, I just want to say, as I mentioned, we're not here to convince you about anything. So I would just like you to sit back and enjoy and partake if you choose to. If not, it's okay. It's okay. We still love you. But if it resonates with you, please do reach out to us at dsjshow2020@gmail.com, because we would like to get your feedback, hear your stories, and who knows, one day you can join us. Just let us know. As always, it's my pleasure to introduce my Hawaiian goddess princess. I love her. She basically has saved my life in many ways. And I know she knows this, but she is someone who's transforming so many lives each and every day. How she does it? She does it because she loves people. She's here to serve and she's a leader. Just like she's right now, who she's going to introduce our guest for today. Super excited. And I just want you to really sit back and enjoy this show. So please help me welcome my Hawaiian goddess princess, Porsche Inc. Welcome, Porsche.
Thank you, Dianne. It's so great to be here with you. I truly enjoy our time together, and I just think it's quite magical to be here with you as well. And I want to thank you for all that you do to help empower so many people, and this great experience that we have together, that we can join so many people around the world and transform together.
Absolutely. This is fun.
Very grateful.
This is fun for us, by the
is.
way. We have fun. We look forward to doing this. And, just as much fun as
It's
we're
our
going to have.
therapy session.
It is my
Dianne.
therapy session. I believe now Portia is beginning to say it's her therapy session. But it is. I have opened up so much in this show that typically I wouldn't.
Yes.
You have shared so much in this show, typically you would not have as well. And I believe we are both transformed and moving along in our journeys. And I just want to say, when we say journey, this is a journey. Everyone has a journey, a destiny, a calling. To some, it's faster, and some, it's a little bit slower. But and don't get me wrong, we have to do a lot of work on ourselves. And this is what we do. We're not here to convince you, like I said. But if there's something in you that you have a little itchy finger or a thought or something, you should really look into that. Doesn't have to be with us. Just pick up a book. Go and Google something. Go listen to some music. And that's what we do. But not to get off topic, we have to get our guests here because I cannot wait.
So we are so excited. I have known this beautiful woman for a few years, and I was always impressed with her ability to, she has this quality, and I'm sure some of you might know it or be familiar with it. It's kind of like a behind the scenes supportive quality. I know that she does a lot of service in teams and amazing community service, and she really loves from her heart as well. She has a lot of compassionate, empowering service that she does throughout the years. And she truly loves the creative arts. She was a photographer and she still is. She just thrives on creativity and on art. And she's going to talk about that, but she has so much to share with you and her spiritual journey, how empowered she's become now, and the struggles that she's been through, you know? So I'm so grateful for her. She has served with us on the Dow Hands global team, Dow Healing Hands global team. And that's a little bit like spiritual empowerment, very similar to Reiki. I think that's what most people would understand it. But it's the Tao level, it's the source creation level as well. And this rare combination of her charm, but also her compassion for people and seeing them to thrive and mentoring so many students and teachers throughout the world. It's quite amazing. And I just cannot wait to introduce you to Lenore. So welcome, Lenore. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Portia, and thank you, Dianne. It's really a pleasure to be here with you. And thank you so much for this opportunity
It's our
to share some
pleasure.
of my story.
It's our pleasure. Definitely so. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? You know, where you're from, how you came about, and here are some of the cool stuff that you do. We'll talk about a little bit later.
Great, thank you. So I'm from Cape Town, South Africa. That's right at the tip of Africa, the southernmost tip, more or less. And that's where I was born. This is where I'm originally from. And I'm living here. And my journey has been quite an interesting one in terms of how I came upon like the spiritual journey as an artist, also as a creator. And maybe I can talk about how I came across creativity and the arts. From a very young age, I was interested in music and dance. I started playing the piano at about age 5. I was also doing ballet and painting, and I grew up as being very creative, as many of us. I think all children are very creative in different ways, and so that's been very much part of me. But somewhere along the way, the influences around me had me believe that I needed to get a formal job, and that couldn't be in creativity or the arts. I didn't really see that mirrored around me, or have people who were role models who were successful as artists. And so I had this idea that I could be creative, but it could only be on the sideline, and I had to get myself a day job. And so that was part of my journey.
That's
Wow.
lovely. Yes, Portia, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Well, I can completely identify, and I think there's a lot of people out there that can identify with that. I think as we look back, I was always told that people are always searching for their purpose and what they want to do in life, whether it's their career, their spiritual purpose, whatever it is. And we often don't remember what it was like to be happy. It's so simple in life, and I don't want to, simplify it too much where people are, well, I would love to do this, but I can't really do that. It doesn't make money, or it's not going to help me flourish, or I'm not going to be successful. But when you actually get down, everyone has a different, definition of success, but we were happy, as children. We play. We didn't have all of this attachment and ego and thinking, well, this is not going to make me money, or this is all we wanted to do literally is play with our favorite toys, have a great time with people, sing and dance, and everything was new. It didn't matter. A stick became a snake, became an animal, became an imaginary friend, and we were just like super creative. Everything was celebrated. Now, it's just kind of like it's totally different. But yeah, did you folks have some thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think definitely as children, we're also creative and free, and we're really living much more from our soul, that connection with the essence of who we are and these abilities that we were born with, and whatever makes us happy, as you say, Portia. And then somewhere along the line, we have all these different ideas that we absorb from like our parents, from our community, from our teachers about what we should be doing as opposed to, and what we feel will make other people happy or
accept us.
Or accept us, yes, because at some point we learn that we need to look outside of ourselves for acceptance, or that other people need to approve of what we're doing. Before that, when we're very young, we don't look for that. We just do what we want to, however we want to express ourselves. So for many, it's a journey back to connecting to that aspect of ourselves that is that full expression of the gifts that we have, the abilities, and what we would like to bring forth from the deepest parts of ourselves. And for me, it's been a journey, like going back to that part of me to connect with that and find out what happened to the little Lenore who knew exactly what she wanted to do and loved to sing and dance and was just happy in that space. And for many of us, there's a lot of pain associated with that. Many times we were shut down, we were silenced, we were told that we shouldn't do this, or that whatever art that we were creating wasn't good enough because someone thought it needed to look a certain way or it needed to sound like something, and it wasn't whatever it was that we were creating. And so bit by bit, maybe we shut down parts of ourselves, and then our expression became diminished. It's like shutting down your light. And so within that, there's also a lot of pain and sadness and grief and wounds, creative wounds that we need to heal in order to come to a place where we can be and live in that full expression. For myself, I feel that many people around the world may be suffering from depression. They may feel disconnected. They may feel as though they're, they could be living life in full vibrant color, but they're kind of living in different shades of black and white, or like monochrome. It's like everything's been dampened down and muted because something within them is not being fully expressed. So for me, that's been very much my journey, and part of healing a lot of my pain is going back and uncovering and recovering different aspects of myself that I felt weren't being fully expressed. And I'm still a work in progress, definitely.
Thank you for sharing that. I have a question. In Africa, South Africa, regardless of what part of it, I've known it, understood it to be a very spiritual continent. And in regards to that, do you find that it's, I know, like any country, continent, nation, culture, they always want their children to be a very, professional. It's not so much on the spiritual side, but isn't where you're from, the region you're from in particular, more of a spiritual background, or is that a myth?
I feel people are connected to their spirituality and different ways of expressing that. in my part of the world, people also love to sing and dance, and that's very much part of the culture. And people use their creative expression as just part of the way of life, especially singing and dancing. And people sing through many different experiences in life, and express themselves through their creativity through a lot of that. And a lot of our challenging experiences from my country, a lot of trauma that people have lived through, they've expressed through their art, through the singing, through the dancing, through visual art, through film, different forms of expression. And for me, what I found was it's not so much that one couldn't express yourself in that way, but it was that arts are not necessarily valued in the way that people would value like the sciences, or they would value finance, or they would value those kinds of professions. And there's something about not fully giving, I would say, full, it's not seen as worth as much in society in general. And I feel that's probably not just in South Africa, but in many parts of the world. In some parts of the world, they nurture artists. There's many scholarships for artists and many like artistic schools and much more, but not as much in my country, and support for artists in that way. For me, I was always searching for, as Porsche mentioned earlier, like what my life purpose was. And for a long time, I was looking at different things in my life. And as I was on the search, I actually went into, so I was creative, but I went into engineering initially. I did study music for many years, and there was a moment where I needed to choose. And when I went to university, I chose engineering because that was seen as the safer path, I would say. From a financial perspective, probably.
But we've been taught that, right? Lenore, sorry. We've been taught that you have to have something to fall back on. That's survival.
Exactly. That's exactly
right?
how it's put. And I mean, I had actually studied to a point. In fact, my teacher was a lecturer at university, and he said I just needed to come and do an audition, and I'd probably be admitted into the school. But it wasn't, my family was like, well, you always need something to fall back on, because, and I understand where that comes from. It's also a generational thing where for their parents, there was, parents, grandparents went through all kinds of struggles, did their best to, educate their children and didn't want them to struggle. So it was just out of love that they would say, oh, you need something to fall back on.
Stability. They want stability.
Stability, safety, all of those things. Security, what's deemed to be secure. And so it was after going through and then actually going into finance and investment banking. And I came to a point in my life where I had all these things, that society deems to be markers for success. I had a great job. I was working in like the financial district in London, in living in a good area. I was able to travel, go on holidays, and all these material things. But inside, I felt like I was dying. I literally felt like there was a part of me that was dying inside, and I felt it was this creative part of myself. And that if, like, how much it was always be the next thing and the next thing, and then you're waiting for the next bonus or the next accolade, but it wasn't fulfilling. And it was at that point that I started to do there's a practice called where you write these morning pages where you connect with your inner self, and you wake up in the morning and the first thing you do is you write this kind of stream of consciousness writing.
You're journaling.
And
Automatic writing.
it's
Yeah.
yeah, but it's a bit more than that. It's from the artist's way, and I think many people all around the world have done this practice. It's like a 12-week course that you do, where when you wake up in the morning, the first thing you do is you start to write. And initially, what happens is that you find yourself writing, and what comes out is a whole lot of negativity, and you're like, wow, I had no idea. And like all this, this kind of a lot of anger, a lot of frustration, all these emotions that were unexpressed were coming out. And then after a while, what starts to happen is you start to have these creative ideas that come through, and then dreams. A lot of my dreams were coming forth. And I did this practice probably for about 3 years every day. It really became like part of my spiritual practice. And through that, I was connecting to the spiritual aspects of myself. So it was actually through art that I started to find my way. And the question was still like, what is my purpose? Why am I here? And then I went through different paths where I studied different types of healing modalities, energy healing. I went on all kinds of meditation courses. And I actually left my job in finance because I was on this kind of search for greater meaning in my life. And at that time, I didn't, excuse me?
I can relate. I left my job cold turkey as well. I literally, my husband didn't even know. I literally called my manager at work at home at the evening. I said, I can't do this anymore. And she said, don't do anything. Literally, I spoke to the kids because I just wanted to know where I was, who I am, where I was going. I knew I didn't fit in the box. And for me to quit my job was unheard of in the financial industry as well. So I can relate to a lot of that, what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But what intrigues me more, what you said was the fact that as you were writing, and I never thought about this, but when you were writing, all these negative thoughts were coming out. However, most people will live and breathe and become those thoughts and emotions, but instead, it was a therapy release for you where it flipped.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which you wouldn't even think it would flip and be. So it was your release. That was your therapy releasing everything was inside of you. But most people will just write and complain. But instead, you have done the opposite. So for doing that for so long, when you say what you speak it and what you write, you become. But in this case, you were releasing. It was a form of therapy that I've never heard anybody mention. We talk about journaling, we talk about these things and write all the positive, but you're bringing out the negative, which flipped, and it was a good thing for you. It helped you along the way. That's amazing.
It's like the unbecoming.
Yes.
It's like we're really at the heart. I think we have that childlike, the happiness, the joy, the things that make us happy. If you think back when you're young, but how many of us keep those, or at least have an outlet for it. So like Lenore was talking about, so the soul is expressed, the heart is expressed, the things that you love have expression in life. Because if we don't have those things, it's not a poor, you might be very wealthy and rich as far as finances, but your soul calling, like Dianne calls the summoning, right? We were summoned
yes, we were summoned for this. That's correct. That's why we were summoned to talk about purification today, because that's exactly what was happening to Lenore. It's
Lenore,
that she was
exactly.
purifying through the writing of expressing all the negative. She wasn't expressing. She was releasing all the negative that was inside of her. It was purification. And we're all going through purification right now. We'll always continue to the rest of our lives go through purification. But Porsche, talking about purification and releasing, why don't we do what we do best and what we love to do? And we'll have our guests do it for us. appropriate time to segue into doing forgiveness practice and a blessing. And we'll leave it up to Lenore for what it is you want to give forgiveness for, blessings. We'll do that right now. What do you say, Lenore? Is this the perfect
Okay,
time?
great. Yeah, this is a
There's
perfect
never
time.
been a bad time in this. Absolutely.
It's always a perfect time
It's
to do
always a
forgiveness
perfect time.
practice.
It's always the
It's
perfect. I
al-
like that.
Yes.
We need to put that on a shirt or a coffee mug or a hat. It's always the perfect time to do forgiveness. That's so true. Great.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, forgiveness practice is really an amazing way to let go of the past so that we can be fully present to bring forth all that, like heaven or whomever you believe in wants to bring forth through you. So we can do a simple forgiveness practice.
Perfect.
Yeah. Dear everyone and everything. And we often refer to ourselves and our ancestors because our ancestors, 50% of our luck comes from our ancestors. And our ancestors have paved the way for us. So dear everyone and everything who me and my ancestors ever hurt or harmed in any way related to their creativity, please forgive us for any time when we suppressed anyone's creativity, their creative expression, their soul's expression, when we did not allow their light to shine brightly, when we judged others, when we judged their creative expression because it did not look like ours, we did not understand it. We are so sorry for any pain or suffering that we caused to anyone in this way. Please forgive me, please forgive my ancestors for any way that we blocked anyone's soul journey, their soul's expression, prevented them from connecting to their light and the light they wish to share on Mother Earth. We're so sorry. You can go into your heart and just feel connect to any times that you've been suppressed or not allowed to offer your greatest expression, your love, your light. And imagine what that was like for you and how that you could possibly have caused that to others, or your ancestors could have caused that to others. So just ask forgiveness from that place in your heart. Now we offer our unconditional forgiveness to everyone and everything that has ever hurt or harmed me or my ancestors in any way. I forgive you for any times that you may have suppressed my creative expression, my soul's abilities, my soul's expression. Any time when you dampened my light, prevented me from shining my light. I forgive you unconditionally. I forgive you for any judgments you may have had towards me. or any of my creations. I forgive you unconditionally. I let go of any painful moments. Any times I felt judged, I let it go now. And I'd like to offer a blessing to Porsche and Dianne. And this blessing is to let go of any trauma that you experienced when your creative expression was suppressed in any way, when you were prevented from shining your soul's light. Blessing starts. And the blessing continues in silence now. And we close with how, which means well, get well, perfect. How, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Porsche, at the end.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for Lenore, and I'll tell you why. We have, I always say to Portia, what we do does not come with a checklist, doesn't come with a magic wand, doesn't come with a silver spoon, a golden spoon, a platinum spoon, for me at least. Many things I have done in my journey, and I believe it has to be done this way. Oh, the Lord, divine, you can make it a little easier, please, sometimes. Why? Because I believe it seems like I have to go through the whole process so I can share it with others. I've said this to Portia, and Portia have heard me say this many times, and people have heard me say this many times, that if I have to write a book, I had to go through the long way of writing the book, not the simplified way. Even when we created this radio shows and the stream, we've been through a lot, Portia and myself, in the learning curve and the process of going through all of this. And it's big, so now we can help others and teach them a simplified, easy way of doing it. Yes, we've had our challenges, and sometimes we continue to have our challenges. But I look at it as a blessing, because when I look at back in the long term, certain things that we haven't done was because we were being guided. Because it's not what we want, and I've learned that. It's not what I want, it's what will be given to us when we need it. It has saved me, well, it's not so much time, but when I look at the finance for it, it could have been a much more costly. So the coulda, shoulda, woulda doesn't work here anymore. Someone asked me, I believe it in the past day or so, if you could have gone back. Or I believe it was a picture I posted. And they said, what if you can go back? And I said, well, maybe for the here. But other than that, I don't believe so. Because when you go through everything for that journey, that's the journey. You have to look and embrace the good, the bad, and the ugly. You have to embrace people and all the pain and emotions that came to you because it was not, it was a blessing. Because people keep saying, and I want people to understand, and this was on my mind, saying that when someone is presented to you in any way, whether it be positive, negative, drama, it's not about that person, it's about yourself and how you react and what's going on. And somebody apologized to me recently, thought it was when they met me, didn't really know me, but I was guided to them to do an elephant in the room session with them. And then when they look back, they realize that they should have helped instead of serving, believing that I had a different agenda, which I really didn't. So when somebody comes to you, I want people to look back and say, why is this person here? What are they here for? And if not, reflect on it. The answer will come to you. So I just want to say thank you for that because, yes, when I look back at all the things we have gone through in our creative side, so we can now express it to everyone like we're doing right now on the Divine Soul Journey with Lenore and Porsche, we have had our moments. I don't want anybody to believe that we have not had our moments. So believe me, we have had our moments. I have had my moments. There's no question about that. So thank you for addressing that because this is our we are expressing to the world. And we are here globally. You in South Africa, right now Porsche is in Hawaii, and I'm in Toronto, Canada. How global more can we get than this? So thank you for that.
Yes. I want to say something also that I think is so beautiful that Lenore did this specific blessing because we personally didn't even, you know, we don't ask people specifically for anything. They just flow it out. Whatever comes to them, they move on their intuition, they flow with that. And I'm going to say that I think a lot of people, even though Dianne and I received this blessing from Lenore, everyone got to feel that blessing, her song, her beautiful offering, her creative gift. You know, we call it a soul song. It's the expression of your soul, your true expression. You know, what your heart really wants to say to the world. It's quite beautiful. It literally reminded me, I don't know if you folks have watched like Lord of the Rings, but at the very end when, you know, the king, you know, comes back, the return of the king, and he sings actually a soul song. It's in his language, you know, of course, but I think it might be actually in the fairy language actually, but fairies are magical creatures and they're known to cross between the realms, you know, and they're just light beings and so quite magical. And so she was expressing that and truly her soul was coming out to say the words and the sounds and the frequencies and vibrations like the love, peace, harmony song that you hear playing in the background of truly what our souls want to express to the world. And I'm grateful. I want to do a little bit of a flow. I don't want to take too much time, but I really want to tap into this energy. I think that everybody received, regardless if you, you know, if you made a special request, but your soul and your heart already have a special request. And so it's there already just vibrating out. And whether it's negative and, you know, you have some negative energy or feelings or trauma, like Lenore said, you know, we need to move forward from this when we were children, or whether you're living the life that you truly want to live creatively and sharing your gifts, we can all actually transform the level of what that means and the quality as well. So let me just do a short flow. I won't do a long flow, but I just want to feel into the message. So I want to translate that message a little bit. So let's do that. So let's just tap in. And you just relax and just go to your heart center and feel that love that's flowing still now in this field. I tell you, this field is magical. You make wishes in this field and things just come true. But I'm going to tap into the message. The message of Lenore's beautiful soul song from her heart and soul is to express to everyone that you are beautiful, perfect, unique, and original. And you have a gift to share with the world. Don't let anyone block you from your true soul journey, from why you were born and what you came to share with the whole world. As the frequencies, energies, and vibrations resonate out from my soul to yours, know that heaven has its eye on everyone. Heaven is here to make sure, by sending me and sending this beautiful song out to the world, to remind you that you are precious, that your talents, gifts, and treasures of your heart have merit, that you came to add value to this world by sharing your true heart expression. Never lose that. Whether you are young or old, it is never too late to remember who you truly are and what your heart wants to say. So that's the message. That's what I'm getting. So thank you for letting me share that. Lenore, do you have anything to share?
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you, Dianne. Thank you, Porsche. Thanks for that beautiful flow from my soul song. And that is what I feel within my heart, that you expressed in words, that every soul has their own abilities and gifts, and that are uniquely yours, that the world needs to experience. And there's a beautiful quote from the dancer Martha Graham, and I forget the exact quote, but it's like there's an expression that can only come through you, and if you do not allow it in that moment, then it will be lost forever. And if you think of it, that each one of us has that connection, it's a special. We were each created with these unique abilities, unique gifts, and no two people are exactly the same, which is why we are unique and precious. Like if you look at all the flowers in springtime, they're all different colors and different shapes, but they're all beautiful in different ways. You can't really say that one is more beautiful than another. They're just different, but each one is beautiful. So too with each one of us, every soul has such a beautiful qualities that they want to bring forth. But somewhere along the way, we forgot, and we allowed the voices of others to detract us from what we came to express. And until we do express that, there is something within us that will not rest. I remember I was having a conversation with my cousin not so long ago, and I said to her, you know, it's I said, if she doesn't express that which her soul wishes to express, her soul won't let her rest. And I said, it's not me that's saying that. I said, you're very, something within you won't let you rest until you express that. And if you think, many people in their final hours, they have all kinds of they reflect back on their lives and what they wanted to share with the world. And so think about that as you live your life. What do you want to bring forth into this world? And there's a beautiful expression from Wayne Dyer. He said, don't die with your song still in you. So don't die with that which you wish to bring forth, hidden from everyone else, because we need to feel it, we need to see it, we need to hear it, because there'll be so much more joy on Mother Earth if every soul, every person is expressing who they truly are and what they have come to share.
Thank you for sharing that, Lenore. And I do know that you
Beautiful.
have a very special project you're working on where you will be soon doing the same thing for people. You are creating a space for them where you are located. And why don't you just a little bit briefly about the project that you're working on?
Thank you.
You're
So
welcome.
my journey on the spiritual path has been quite interesting in that it was at that time after I left my job in finance and then started to express myself much more creatively that I connected with my spiritual teacher. In fact, it was in Hawaii. And when I read the book that said that I have this was connecting to Dr. and Master Jigang Shah. And when I read the expression, I have the power to heal myself, you have the power to heal yourself, together we have the power to heal the world, that really resonated within my heart and soul, because I really feel that each one of us has that power within us, that we can together heal the world. And that resonates very much with people in South Africa. It's something that I've also shared with children in different projects. We've had Love, Peace, Harmony projects here, where we've shared Love, Peace, Harmony with other children who've experienced trauma, who have been using Love, Peace, Harmony to help to heal some of their trauma and painful experiences. And it was on this journey that I've been very blessed to be studying and to have learned these techniques and to become a master teacher, to be able to share blessings and healing treasures that can help people on this journey of transformation. And my dream is that we would have a center or a place where people could come together to experience love, light, experience those higher frequencies and vibrations, because those higher frequencies can help us to transform the blockages, the challenges, whatever may be causing those challenges in our lives, as well as help to transform whatever painful memories we might have, trauma that we may still be carrying within our soul, heart, mind, and body. And my dream is that we would have a center or a place where people can come together to receive this kind of support, which I feel is very needed in our part of the world. And that's my dream, that we could have that kind of center with very high frequencies and vibrations that will help people, where we can share us healing through singing, through dancing, through calligraphies, and much more.
Thank you so much.
So thank you.
Now, how can they get in touch with you? Can you is there a certain way they can reach out to you if they want to find out more, be part of it, donate, help, resources, manpower, or anything?
Yeah, we would love
Anything.
to.
We welcome anything. Because here's the
Yeah.
reason why I'm saying this is what we don't understand sometimes is that what I would say in a different way is the fact that you're listening to the show for a reason. And there's something's going to resonate, even like a micro percent. There's no question about that. And many of us know that our hearts are saying, you know what can I do? Because serving is also part of your journey. And imagine how many other people you can help, because I have been one of those people from a different center and different centers. Even in Trinidad, we're working on one, and there's centers all over. And it's not about the organization, it's about the individual who's willing to do the work to help transform others, people like yourself. So please, if you would like to reach out, Lenore will give you her contact information in a moment. But you can also write to us at dsjshow2020@gmail.com if you would like to reach out more on a personal level. So please do share with us how they can reach out, and please spell your name so they will make sure we find the right person.
Sure. So my name is Lenore, Lenore, and so they can reach me at Lenore, Lenore. My surname's Cairncross, CAIRNCROSS at drshah.com.
Thank you.
That's my email address. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, if you can please, your final message, words of wisdom, and then we'll go to Porsche.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity to connect with your listeners and with both of you. It's been really beautiful experience. And I would like to encourage everyone listening to really connect deeply within their hearts and meditate on, or just take a few quiet moments and feel into your heart what you really wish to share with others. Perhaps it's something that you haven't told anyone else about, but that you felt within yourself for a long time. And allow yourself to start to take steps towards expressing that, even if it's baby steps, one step at a time, one moment at a time. And bit by bit, as you do take those steps, you may feel much more joy, you may feel much more happiness within yourself as you do, even if it's something that you don't feel comfortable to share with anyone for a while, until it's like you're tending a little plant and you want to nurture it and help it to become a bit stronger before you might expose it out to the elements. So in that way, really nurture that aspect of yourself and reach out if you need help along the journey to those whom you trust or those who you feel could support you. We really need to feel your love and light on Mother Earth. So please share it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Portia?
Wow, this show has been so enlightening, actually. I have a lot of different things to share, but
One,
let me
Portia.
just share this.
One.
Yeah, no, I'm fully aware of that, Dianne. It's been turned to another show. I love what Lenore said. I'm gonna say that. This is the one point. She said many enlightening things, and Dianne too. I was just like, wow, this is amazing. We're gonna have to have Lenore back. But when she said that your soul came here to do something, and sometimes, Dr. Lynn taught this too. She told me in not the same words, but she said that sometimes people have insomnia. There's actually a reason why. It's because their unconsciousness, whatever you want to talk about, dreams, unconsciousness, the world, the soul world, the expression, it's trying to tell you something. There's a message. And then when Lenore actually said that, I was like, there it is. Your soul came here to do something. And so it's restless. And you need to accomplish your task. And when you do that, then you'll be able to sleep. but it's like an awakening sleep. Your soul will be awakened and be at peace at the same time. And that's what I want to say. This show has been amazing. Thank you, Dianne. Thank you, Lenore.
Thank you, ladies, both of you. And you know what? Like I always say, we're summoned for something. We're summoned together right now, in the moment. And I always loved music, and I always wanted to DJ, strange enough as that seemed when I was very young, like almost 50 years ago. And the point is, who would believe that now we're hosting the show? I own the equipment and everything else because it always looked so intimidating. Even a couple of years ago, I was like, oh my gosh, should I do this? But here we are right now, and I love it. And yes, it is our form of expression to you and to everyone. And we get the opportunity to share with so many amazing people. So never dismiss what the little kid inside of you, the little girl, the little boy inside of you is wanting ever since you were young, even as a hobby, because you never know if that might be your calling. So I want to say to each and every one of you, as always, thank you so much for being here. We know you come every week because you're looking for something. We're not here to convince you. But I want you to look inside, like Porsche and Lenore said. Look inside and find what you're looking for. That gut feeling, your intuition, there's something, you're like, aha, pay attention to it. Love the idea of journaling and just writing whatever comes to mind. It's a release, it's journal, it's so many things. Because you never know where it's going to take you. I am so proud of these two ladies because they're both master teachers. What does that mean? They have done a lot of work to get where they are. So now they can share things with each and every one of us. So, talking about the creative side, I love it because we don't normally talk about that. But your creativity will take you to where you need to be. So, on that note, I would love to say, Aloha, Namaste, Salaam Alaikum, Sitaram, Shalom, good day, good morning, good night to each and every one of you. In the words of the love, peace, and harmony that you listen to the whole show, I want to personally thank you on behalf of my amazing co-hosts and our guests. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. We love your energy, and we know you're sending us a lot of love and support, and we are as well to you. So next time on the Divine Soul Journey, this is Dianne, Porsche, and Lenore saying thank you, we love you, we appreciate you, and until next time, thank you.